What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA SAG.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And guys, for today's video I have a really amazing news. This news will literally blow your mind. First of all, I will show you an update in Scott Roth versus our Rubinstein case, and I have to admit that this news is not the best one. Then I will continue with the most impressive news for today's video. It is a real bombshell that was dropped by George Palikros, and I will show you my thoughts and I will show you this news from different points of view. And guys, before we dive deep into all of this, please hit the like button for YouTube algorithm. And if you want to know more about technical analysis, if you want to enhance your trading skills, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel and join my Patreon account. And for now, guys, I have three tiers. It is Discord access tier, Safe Haven, and Gold tier. And if you want to just be in line with all the latest news and with the most recent actions and potential upcoming actions of the US stock market, it is more than enough to join just Discord access. If you want me to cover your personal position and if you want me to create a plan for you to invest in stock market, Safe Haven is for you. The only difference in between these two tiers is that on Safe Haven tier you will have a monthly 30-minute Zoom call session with me. And the Gold tier is for people who want to take the most from my experience and from my knowledge. And in this tier you will have a 30 minutes weekly Zoom call with me where I will teach you how to beat the market. On top of that, guys, for the members of this tier I will give my personal signals where to enter and where to leave the position. I will do it when market conditions are more predictable for swing positions. So, and let me give you a sneak peek on the Discord group. You can see that I publish a lot of updates on the market, and as you can see, I even make predictions of its upcoming movements. And if you follow my channel for quite some time, you know that I have a very high level of experience in this type of trades. And guys, in this Discord group, I explain a lot to my patrons, and I do a lot of technical analysis on demand on different assets. Here is the general sentiment of the market on April the 10th. Here is INTC, ISRG, here is JDR, KLB, MSTR, and other ticker symbols. You can see that I do it pretty much 2 or 3 times a week. And all of my community members know how to benefit out of these market conditions. So, and let's begin today's video with this tweet. It was written by Roman Subs just 9 hours ago. He wrote, Scott Roth case order out. Favorable for Roth, unfavorable, unknown. We can find out tonight. Roth versus Rubinstein. And he added the number of case and the case number and the link to the court listener docket. Here you can see that basically on the screenshot you can see that this document wasn't available without fees, but for now it is free to download, and I have to admit that it is not the best document. It is an order denying plaintiff's motion for reconsideration and for relief from judgment. And guys, let me explain you in details what does it mean. The court's decision is not favorable for Scott Roth. His motions for reconsideration and relief from judgment were denied. The court clarified that arbitration orders are not final judgments, and therefore Roth could not seek relief under Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 59E or 60B. This means his claims must proceed to arbitration as originally directed, which he sought to avoid. In essence, the court upheld its prior decision, signaling that Roth's arguments were insufficient to change the course of the case. And unfortunately, we don't have any comments from Scott Roth himself. He published just several tweets and it is not related to his case at all. That is why, guys, I have to admit that unfortunately he doesn't like to admit that his case basically fails almost completely, because in the arbitration he doesn't have a lot of chances to win. That is why, guys, unfortunately, well, it is not the best news. But we have much better news, and here it is. George Palikers just several hours ago wrote a set of tweets, and he published several documents. It is a FOIA request, and let me quote you just several tweets from this thread. Breaking news, 56-page FOIA document. In the next few posts, I will be sharing and unpacking a 56-page document released under FOIA. It includes SEC's own emails by Washington senior policymakers directly under Gensler, not enforcement, strategic coordination with Congress before enforcement actions, timelines, and narrative control around metamaterials and MMTLP. I encourage everyone, and particularly the media, to look into the context of these emails, the names involved, timelines, etc. Public debate is the correspondence of democracy, and your protected First Amendment right. This post contains personal commentary and public records. It does not constitute legal advice or assert any confidential information. All source documents were lawfully obtained. Are you ready? Let's begin. And let me quote you another part of his thread. Number 2. Download the 56-page PDF FOIA document here. He added the link. And by the way, guys, I took a sneak peek on these documents. It is very interesting to read it. And in a minute, I will show you some interesting discoveries. So, let me continue. Who in the SEC knew and when? Did the SEC pre-brief a US senator about the MMTLP case before any enforcement? Emails now confirm that MMTLP was on Commissioner Uyeda's office hot topic list tied to my former company, Metamaterial Tech, and the infamous FINRA U3 halt. Taylor Usher is the policy advisor and confidential assistant to Commissioner Mark Uyeda. This isn't just some intern. Taylor Usher advises an SEC commissioner. In July 2023, she flagged MMTLP as a hot topic before a senator meeting. Who else knew? I am sharing this document so that the public and retail investors understand how intervened these issues have become. This is not about MMAT and MMTLP. This is about accountability. And George Palikers added this screenshot of one of the letters, and here you can see some details. In preparation for Mark's upcoming meeting with Senator, and we have a blacked out name, I wanted to reach out and see if there are any specific topics that might be good for Mark to read up on in preparation. Hot topics I already have us preparing for: Ripple, Coinbase, MMTLP, and Prometheum. And guys, I have to admit that it is very interesting to see that on July 17th of 2024, some senators and potentially, guys, according to Curtis, I don't know from what side did Curtis obtain this information, but according to Curtis, this senator is J.D. Vance. And for now, guys, J.D. Vance is a vice president of the United States of America. And I have to admit that I don't have any proofs of this statement, but it is what it is. I have to disclose this information for you from Curtis, and he told it in some of the space calls. Let me show you further. I have to admit that right here, at the very end of George Palikers' thread, he wrote this. Number 6. Bonus. The SEC says Supreme Court transparency ruling has no effect on MMTLP FOIA. Are you ready for this? The SEC earlier this month in a FOIA denial said it can't release MMTLP documents to a shareholder because the public might fabricate evidence. And here is the link to download this document. Is this how they justify stonewalling tens of thousands of investors? And guys, I have to admit that he also added this. If you try FOIAsearch.com and enter MMTLP, you will discover some staggering stats. Out of 567 FOIA requests, only 2 were granted in full. At this rate, it doesn't look they are protecting investors, but just protecting the information. And guys, he added the screenshots of this request, the result of this request. On top of that, take a look right here. Here is basically here is the same tweet, and here is wait a second, I will show you somewhere here the recap of this entire thread that was made by due diligence. I don't want to dig deeper inside this entire tweet. You can read it by yourself, and I have to admit it is definitely worth your attention in order to know his opinion. And I have to admit that due diligence highlighted a lot of interesting facts. And let me show you just a part of his conclusion. So, he wrote, back to the meat of the matter, let me leave you with this. If this is what they were willing to release, just imagine what they aren't showing us. One thing is for sure, if MMTLP was worthy of a commissioner-level briefing in July 2023, then their silence today isn't ignorance, it's intentional. So, I have to admit that it is very difficult to argue with this statement. We know that they hide at least 565 FOIA requests. That is why I have to admit that something might be hidden there. On top of that, let me show you some details from other parts of the MMTLP community. X-Market News 15 hours ago, in response to George Palliker's thread, wrote this. Just in, SEC Legislative Affairs Director reaches out to Representative Ralph Norman's office regarding SEC enforcement action against CEOs ahead of the SEC press release. And here is the document that proves this statement. And here is the part of basically of this FOIA letter. Kevin Burrs, Director of Legislative and Intergovernmental Affairs at the SEC, emailed Darcy Merlin from Representative Ralph Norman's office on June 18, 2024 to discuss the metamaterials enforcement action during coffee. This communication occurred well before the press release from the SEC. So, quite interesting discovery. On top of that, John Burda reposted a tweet from Pocahontas, and Pocahontas reposted the tweet of Happy and Positive. And Happy and Positive wrote, on 12th of September of 2023, Gensler struggled to vaguely recall metamaterials and ex-breach hydrocarbons in a congressional hearing. And here is the letter again from FOIA requests that shows that he knew on September the 5th, Gary Gensler knew about the issue at least on September the 5th of 2023. Here is the letter that was signed by Gary Gensler, where the metamaterials Series A preferred shares were clearly mentioned. That is why, guys, let me show you right here, these hearings about MMTLP that was that took place on September the 12th, and where Senator Mike Cropper asks Gary Gensler about MMTLP. I have to admit that Gary Gensler potentially he lied about MMTLP because he didn't even properly pronounce MMTLP name and metamaterials and next breach hydrocarbons. On top of that, guys, let me show you another set of interesting facts. So here's the Pocahontas tweet. How could we ever forget Gary Gensler struggling to recall metamaterials and next breach hydrocarbons? It was on live camera, and despite the fact that it was infuriating, it was hilarious. So, on top of that, we have, let's say, quite neutral opinions and quite opposite opinions inside MMTLP community. Dennis Neal wrote this in response to George Palliker's tweets, thread basically. He wrote, something is happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear, MMTLP. And why he thinks that it is not so clear? I have to admit that some facts are crystal clear, but some of them definitely are not. Let me show you, for example, this tweet. Amy wrote this. George, if I was your attorney, I would tell you that posting stuff like this, attacking institutions and continuing to rile up people you've misled and have them run color for you is a real bad look, in my opinion. But I'm not, so please continue to make the SEC's case. So, I have to admit that, in my opinion, George Parker's, by posting this thread, potentially he took a lot of risks because, on the one hand, yes, this information might be very handful for the MMTLP case. But on the other hand, guys, in Russia we have this statement. So let me try to translate it into English. When investigating a crime, it is very important not to come out on yourself. And this is quite the interesting part because I told you multiple times that we cannot have a partial justice. The justice has to be pervasive. And in my opinion, it is very important to understand that well, if something might appear in this type of investigation, definitely there is no way out of this case. And that is why, guys, on the one hand, yes, we have an ongoing case against George Parkers and John Burda, but at the same time, George Parkers himself discloses this information. And this means, guys, potentially he knows what is he talking about, and he potentially might be not guilty in the case of SEC against him. So let me show you another quite interesting update. We have another petition to Dodge for MMTLP audit, and if you want to sign this petition, guys, you can find it on mmtlpresources.com. and I have to admit that the more actions we take in terms of our case, the more likely we will have some kind of resolution in foreseeable future. And for now, you can see that there are not so many people who signed this petition, and in my opinion, you have to keep an eye on this petition as well, because if you agree with these statements, you can sign it easily. And guys, let me tell you my personal story. I have a wife and 2 children aged 11 and 15, as well as a small dog. After 30 years of living in Russia near the Baikal Lake, we decided to move. Now we reside in Serbia. Although I don't own any MMTLP shares, I invest a lot of time creating daily MMTLP videos. I have been doing this every day without days off and holidays for more than 1.5 years. Now I wish to buy back this time from my family, from my children. We've agreed that I will ask the MMTLP community to support me, and I will give all the money to the children. Therefore, if you believe that I am providing useful content for you and wish to support me, you can join my Patreon account. For $5 a month, I will add your name to my list of supporters if you wish. Thank you in advance. The link you can find in the description below. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed.